Reporting.
I'm Michael Wallace. A day after President Trump extended the ceasefire with Iran, Iran has attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz and seized 2 of them. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
Those talks that were supposed to take place today basically fell apart, with both sides blaming the other. Vice President Vance was supposed to get on a plane yesterday to head to Islamabad because Pakistan is mediating the talks. That didn't happen. And no one seems to be able to say right now when those talks might take place instead.
President Trump is suggesting the talks could resume as soon as Friday. In the meantime, he's sending thousands more forces to the region. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns reports Democrats may be a step closer to gaining control of the House in November.
Virginia voters went to the polls to vote on whether to change the congressional maps. And by a narrow vote, 51% said yes. And so now this could have a big impact on the balance of power in the House, because now there is only going to be one competitive Republican district.
Florida's legislature will consider redrawing its congressional map more red when it meets during a special session next week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says AI will play a role as the feds begin a $12 billion overhaul of the nation's air traffic control system.
We have human beings navigating, managing the airspace. And as human beings, we can make mistakes. That's why I want to give additional tools to support the air traffic controllers.
But he says humans will still have the final say on how the nation's airspace is managed. Wildfires are burning across parts of northeast Florida and southern Georgia. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano.
In southeast Georgia, a 3,800-acre blaze has burned down more than 40 buildings and forced dozens of people to evacuate.
This is the first time where it's kind of been right in the middle of the county and burning in multiple different directions all at one time today.
Smoke from the wildfires has reached Atlanta, several hundred miles to the north. The Gates Foundation plans to cut 500 jobs and review its ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates has apologized for having affairs with 2 women and has said he regrets his relationship with Epstein. The feds have busted an international auto theft ring.
District of Columbia U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says that thieves are far beyond old school tactics such as breaking windows or hot wiring vehicles these days.
In under a minute, the car's brain is rewritten. The car is gone in 60 seconds.
She says the vehicles are loaded onto shipping containers that are labeled furniture as opposed to cars and are then shipped across the ocean. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Dow's up more than 300. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Police in Seattle say 2 young men randomly attacked an elderly veteran, and they need your help to find one of the suspects. We're going to give you that information in just a moment. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, and the summary is it is really tough. The good news is that all of the collisions have cleared in the last half hour on I-90, I-5, 405, pretty much everywhere, all the ones that I'm aware of, but it is just, I don't even know where to start. It's really bad. Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, those collisions have cleared. That's 27 minutes. It's really unusual for this time of day. Compare that to 520, 16 minutes, but I do see some backups starting to where the merge with I-5 is. Federal Way to Seattle, 58 minutes, and Linwood to Seattle is the worst time right now at 74 minutes. Compare that Linwood to Bellevue on 405, 69 minutes. All of our alternate routes are feeling serious pressure. We're even seeing some backups, some slow going in Fife on I-5 northbound, heading up to I-5 off and on slowing. Usually that's cleared by this time of day. Highway 18, 167, the West Seattle Bridge. All you West Seattle drivers, give yourself at least 10 minutes to get out of West Seattle right now. The bridge is backed up all the way back to the junction at this point. We'll update you in a half hour. Traffic report brought to you by Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Schedule today at dayandnight.net.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Seattle police are looking for a man who punched and shoved an elderly man on Sunday.
This was an unprovoked attack. There was no lead up to it. There was very minimal interaction.
Detective Eric Munoz tells KIRO 7 TV real-time crime cameras showed the 77-year-old veteran try to walk past two others on 3rd and Pine when they lashed out. One 29-year-old was arrested, but the other is still out there. The Gates Foundation is investigating past ties to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has more.
The Gates Foundation releasing this statement saying the review has the support of Bill Gates and the independent governing board, and the focus is on developing a new vetting procedure for future philanthropic partnerships. We want to go in depth on this, though, because this goes back to 2011 when Gates says he began his relationship with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He said the two had dinners to talk about fundraising. Gates says he cut ties with him in late 2014. Later, he would call his meetings with Epstein a mistake. On February 3rd, new Epstein files were made public. Gates was named hundreds of times. He denied any wrongdoing.
A cigarette is being blamed for a fire that spread quickly between townhomes in Linwood and completely destroyed two of them. Luckily, no people were injured. Boeing's first quarter earnings are out, and they're celebrating it as more proof of a turnaround. Revenue is up 14% year over year, and so are airplane deliveries. The company is still losing money, but far less. This comes after years of high-profile safety incidents, labor disputes, and increased government oversight. Now we're going to check your weather forecast, and it's going to dry out allegedly later today. They're rainy right now, high of 56, and dry tomorrow with a cloudy start to the day and a high of 61. It's 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Grateful that you all are hanging out with us today. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. You know how we love choosing joy on this show? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, though, you have to really look at what is going on. There is growing concern about how people are actually doing right now, emotionally, physically, and just overall quality of life. And this is especially affecting our age group. So coming up at 9:30, we're going to look at what's behind all of this and why does it feel like so many people are just worn down. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
Top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Federal investigators now have those ballots that were found near a Renton dumpster. According to King County Elections, these were ballots that had already been mailed out to voters, delivered to a private mailbox location, and then left unclaimed. So they were not completed ballots. They were never part of the return or counting process. But U.S. Postal Inspection Service has now taken custody. They're working with Renton Police and now the FBI, too, because some of the mail involves federal elections. And you remember, G, that this mysterious box came to light after State GOP Chair Jim Walsh posted a video online saying that a concerned citizen had dropped off the ballots at Republican headquarters in Bellevue.
This is proof that Washington state elections are not secure.
But King County Elections Director Julie Wise is now blasting him for posting that video of the ballots online instead of immediately turning them over to authorities. She says it was irresponsible. She says there was no opportunity for fraud in this case, but he is just trying to sow doubt in everyone's mind. Secretary of State Steve Hobbs is also weighing in, reminding people that if you find someone else's ballot, you need to return it or give it to law enforcement, not post on social media.
You skip the phone call to the authorities because that doesn't trend well. You don't do that because you can't get people riled up. I just want to remind everyone that the core foundation to people pushing their agenda and narrative is fear. Fear. Maybe I might bring this up on other topics today, but it's usually fear. Now, imagine right now if I was in a Starbucks right now and I saw an empty cup on the floor and it was a Starbucks coffee cup. And it was empty. And I videotaped it, put it out on social media, and said, oh, my goodness, the coffee supply is under attack. Right? No, it's not under attack. It was an empty coffee cup. Pick it up and throw it in the garbage. Or if you don't want to pick it up yourself, say, hey, excuse me, there's a cup on the ground. But no, the Walshes of the world, this is what they do. They try to fear monger all the time. Now, I am glad that he did this. Because what's going to happen is this is going to backfire on him because now they're going to do the investigation. Just a reminder that 1.4 million ballots go out twice a year. 1.4 million ballots. And Walsh says we have a problem. No, we don't. We have a you problem. And people like you and some of your people with you want to try to bring up fear.
You nailed it. Washington has been voting by mail for more than a decade, and across millions of ballots, actual voter fraud cases are extremely rare. We're talking about a handful, not a pattern. And I, for one, am glad that this is now in the hands of both federal and local authorities. And I really want to know, what happened?
Yeah, what happened?
About 75 King County workers marched into the county's main downtown building yesterday, not to clock in for work, but to push back on the idea of returning to the building. So these were members of the Protect 17 union. They staged a lunchtime protest against Executive Gurmai Zahalai's order that many employees have to return to the office 3 days a week. They even brought props. They had a giant blank check made out to downtown landlords. They're arguing that this mandate to go back 3 days a week instead of 2 could cost taxpayers more than it actually saves. And these workers say they've been doing their jobs remotely for years without issue, and they think that forcing them back now 3 days a week feels unnecessary and expensive. One employee was saying the county shrank its office footprint during the pandemic, so where exactly is everyone supposed to sit? Now, we had the King County executive on here recently, and he talked about this. I mean, this is something that they're doing. The full 3-day expectation is not until June. And he says they're bringing hybrid workers back in phases. They've already requested more than $5 million to help make it happen because they did reduce the footprint of the buildings, yes, but they are determined to get people back 3 days a week, in case I didn't emphasize that enough.
Entitlement. Boys and girls, what's going to be the word for today? It's going to be entitlement. Let's talk about that word. First, let's set it up. Let's talk about right now. How's the job market right now? Does anyone know of someone that has filled out and sent out 300 and 400 applications? How's those callbacks happening? I know someone 900 applications over the last year, 3 sit-down interviews. It's real out here. There are people fighting paycheck to paycheck, barely able to get by. And we got some folks with cardboard checks going out there and saying, we don't want to come back to work. Oh, my goodness, 3 days a week. Oh, my goodness, 3 days a week. That is just too much, right? This has been not just them, but this is a thing where people protest. And first, just a reminder, some people can get away with things at work and some people can't. My biggest problem in this is the next generation that's watching. They're watching a bunch of entitled folks that says, oh, is this how we handle things? To which I say to the young generation, no, you don't. You better be grateful for your job. And I'm telling you, if you continue with this mentality that you're seeing. Now, remember, this is King County. It's real hard to lose your job when you're working for the government. And yes, I said government on purpose. It's hard to lose your job. Don't be trying this in the private sector. Oh, you know what? I don't like these things.
They've already been told to come back for the most part, 5 days a week. I mean, my biggest issue is that right now King County is facing some real issues. We've had county council members on here. We're talking about delays in permitting. We've had public frustration with how long it takes to get anything done, questions about efficiency, questions about accountability when it comes to large amounts of our taxpayer money. Mm-hmm. So when they're pushing back on having to come back 3 days a week, mm-hmm. read the room.
Read the room. Thank you.
It's so out of step.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Read the room. And just... Do you know how many people that's out here that would love those jobs?
Yeah, with those amazing benefits. And by the way, before people get worked up, if you are that work from home person who is doing amazing and it's not affecting anything at all, we're not talking about you.
Hey, I just want to just say this. I don't care if they don't like my opinion. Here's why I don't care. The next generation is watching. You know the generation that can barely buy a damn house? You know them? Them folks that can barely pay off their student loans, you think I give a damn about somebody caring about? Did you hear what G said about us wanting to come back to work 3 days a week? Is he trying to say we don't protest? And by the way, I saw the pictures of the protest, and I looked around, and I was looking to see, and y'all know what I was looking to see. I said, nope, I don't see anybody, because you know where they are? They're at their desk saying, hey, y'all try that. I'm going to be right here working because I don't want to lose my job.
Okay, we're going to talk about this South Seattle daycare owner who says that illegal encampments are coming back after seeing months of improvement. And now there's been violence, including a recent stabbing where a guy was found bleeding just steps away from her school in Mount Baker. So Gloria Hodge runs the Hoa Mai Vietnamese bilingual preschool, and she tells Como 4 News she's worried about what families are walking into every day with these encampments.
When the unauthorized come, the city's not managing that. They need to be responsible for that so that the community can live and work and attend school here.
And this isn't new. The area has struggled with encampments for years. Conditions did improve, though, after city intervention last year. But now neighbors say it is slipping again. And now under new leadership with Mayor Katie Wilson, she says that the help is coming. She's got this goal of adding 500 new tiny homes to move people off the streets. But obviously, there are some real questions about whether even that could happen fast enough to make a difference.
Remember when the first Bush said, read my lips, and he said, no new taxes? Read my lips. No encampments next to schools. Hard stop. I don't want to hear about help on the way. As a matter of fact, if you really want to talk that talk, anybody that's in public service, show me where your kids go to school.
Mm-hmm. Show me how you feel.
Show me your child care center. And if there's an encampment next to your child care center, I tell you what, I'll stand corrected. Full stop. You know, the Seahawks, we always talk about the offensive line. Always. They're always the offensive line.
Yeah, they're blamed for everything.
Our babies in Seattle and all over are the quarterback. The city is the offensive line. Protect the babies. Protect the babies. I don't want to hear no excuses. We all have a heart for people unhoused. Well, some of us do. But full stop encampments next to schools.
Well, and I want to point out there's also a sanctioned encampment nearby, which is Tent City 3. Now, we've had some of these tent cities even in my neighborhood.
Expires in June, just so you know.
Okay.
Expires in June.
And but one of the things that they offer services and support, and I am I think that model actually does work. We had one near and we were worried when it came up, and it was in a parking lot of a church near our home. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember that there were any problems associated. Why? Because they offer services and support. Yeah. It's just popping up the tents and having them anywhere. That just cannot be allowed.
But I'm glad you brought that up. You know that expires in June.
Yes. Yeah. So now what? Yeah, that's just going to be compounded even more. Mm-hmm. So, hey, if you have purchased a plane ticket recently, you know airfares have gone way up. But here's the part of this story that now they're saying out loud. Because airline executives are saying they're not going to be coming back down anytime soon. So the Seattle Times reports that Alaska Airlines is raising ticket prices like others, and also the fees as jet fuel costs are going up during the war in Iran. The airline lost nearly $200 million in the first quarter, and they're still expecting that fuel prices are going to jump even higher. So they're saying even if fuel prices eventually drop, the higher fares are likely here to stay. Alaska's CEO says demand is still strong. Planes are full. People are flying, which gives the airlines room to keep those prices high. And in case you haven't looked, right now fares are up about $25 on average, but industry-wide prices are 25% higher than this time last year. So you're also not just the ticket prices, but baggage fees. You're also dealing with fewer flights because some airlines are cutting the flights. So what happens? That jacks up the prices even more because there are fewer seats. And some lawmakers are trying to push back writing to the airlines saying if prices go up with fuel, they should come down too. But that's not going to work.
I learned a new thing downstairs this morning. It's called crisis pricing. This is where companies blame the crisis, right? Like, this is what's going on, and because of this, remember the supply chain, that was the thing. Of course, the conflict in Iran, that's happening. And so what happens is, hey, customers, just want to let you know, we have to raise our prices. And to which you're like, okay, I understand. But we've seen this before. I have talked about this on the show. We talked about how 18 years ago, in 2008, crisis pricing, they had to blame the gas prices. The gas prices going up. It was a recession. Bags flew free. The first bag used to fly free on all airlines. Then they said, hey, gas prices are up. Hey, we got to start charging you. And so it was $30, and then it went to $35, and Delta right now was at $45. Now sometimes it's $55. My point is that the crisis pricing is just a disguise. Don't worry, Sally and Richard, it's not coming down. Some of these prices will remain.
Yeah, you're right. And they're already saying even when fuel prices eventually go down, they need to make up for the money that they lost. And they say it's going to take a while. So, again, if you think that there's going to be relief anytime soon, you're going to be holding your breath.
I'm just glad that federal minimum wage has been increasing since 2009. Oh, wait. No, it hasn't increased at all. Okay.
No.
Still $7.25.
Okay, do you remember that park that we went to, Denny Blaine?
The naked place.
The naked place.
And
well, it's back on the news.
What'd they do?
Because it's a fight over what you can and cannot wear at Seattle's.
Can you wear Speedo with ducks on it?
Most unique park. Yeah, which is what you did. I know, we got to bring that one back up. That was daring of you. Just so you know, I did wear a swimsuit that day, but I was fully covered. I can't say the same for a lot of the folks that we were, and you saw me walking right up to them. Hi.
You guys remember yesterday the conversation was about talking to strangers?
Yeah.
Ursula, you straight had a full-on conversation with his Johnson out. Buddy's Johnson was out.
And then Angela came and joined me, and I know I could see you and Chef were in the back there just like, what in the heck? Nicest conversation. A group representing regulars at Denny Blaine Park is now asking a judge to make one thing crystal clear, as you like to say, G. Topless sunbathing is allowed at the park, even in areas marked clothing required. So this does come from this court-ordered plan meant to crack down on illegal activity at the park, things like public sex acts, which you and I both said, or drug use and lewd behavior. That's not okay. Yeah. And but the Friends of Denny Blaine say that plan was never meant to target simple toplessness. So going topless, they're saying that has been a part of the culture of that park for decades, especially now as this is considered an LGBTQ historic gathering place. Yeah. But now they're saying that private security guards hired by nearby homeowners, and by the way, for those of you who don't know where Denny Blaine Park is, it is in one of the richest neighborhoods in the city of Seattle. I mean, this is where Howard Schultz used to live. I mean, it's like the big homes.
Right.
But anyway, they're saying the private security guards are enforcing the rules differently. They're telling people to cover up, even calling police in some cases, and that's just for people going topless. So, and they're saying if enforcement depends on gender, that could violate Washington's Equal Rights Amendment. So I'm asking everyone listening right now, you be the judge. How are you ruling on this?
I'm ruling for the people that's naked. And
Wait,
you know why I'm doing that?
Just simple toplessness, you're saying? Like, this is not going to hurt anybody.
Simple. It's not going to hurt anybody. And by the way, one of two things happened. Either A, you just bought that house. You knew what existed right there. That's one.
It's a gorgeous
area. Maybe that's your great-grandmama house or your grandmama house. Guess what? You knew then when you decided to not sell or you decided to be a part of your trust fund and accept the house. So I'm siding with the folks. Would you say topless? I'm saying right.
Yeah, I'm saying crack down on the illegal behavior, like the lewd conduct, like having sex.
We didn't see any of that, Ursula.
We didn't.
We saw it real smooth.
I do believe it
was real smooth. my man came there, sat there. Other man came there, did a little quick round, walked up to the top. Buddy followed him. That's how you do it.
Yeah, you don't want, but there have been documented cases of things that shouldn't be happening that were really happening opening.
We could only comment what we saw.
Exactly. So crack down on those things. But topless sunbathing, come on.
All right. We do need to talk at 9:47 about how you don't have to uproot your life. But coming up next, why being middle-aged sucks for a lot of Americans. Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
DUI Heroes. Nobody should drink and drive because it's dangerous, but DUI Heroes cares for their clients as people, individuals who have made a mistake. If you or someone you know made the unfortunate mistake of driving under the influence and was pulled over for DUI, DUI Heroes will hear you and they will understand you. They will represent you and defend you, the person, helping you get your life back together. I know Jonathan and his team, they're wonderful people. DUI Heroes, your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
511 is now part of Seattle in the South Center Mall. It's more than a brand, it's a lifestyle built on reliability and performance. Whether you're on duty, on the trail, working out, or out for adventure, 511 delivers purpose-built clothing, bags, and footwear that stand up to the toughest demands. 511 gear is trusted by those who never settle for less. Choose 511 and live ready for anything. Are you ready to discover your 511? 511, now part of Seattle in the South Center Mall.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
Trying to figure out assisted living for a parent or a loved one while life keeps moving full speed? It's tough. Hey, it's Spike O'Neill. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living. These are luxury communities, resort-style amenities. Voted Best of Western Washington and ranked #1 senior living community in all of America for 2025 by Seniorly. Go to aegisliving.com/spike, schedule a visit, and get a special take-home gift. And when you take the tour, don't be surprised if you turn to whoever's with you and say, this must be the place, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
The Kendall Spring Sales Event is on now at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville. Add up even more savings with Chevy Truck Month discounts and savings up to $11,865 off MSRP on all new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST models. Go electric with big savings on all new 2026 Chevy Equinox EV RS models. Now up to $13,750 off MSRP. Chevy, together, let's drive. We've moved a few blocks south to our brand new location, just down 33rd Avenue across Marine Drive. We're wrapping up the remodel and are open during construction. Come on by and get in on the spring savings today at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville. Kendall, let's start something great.
Must show proof of current Costco membership to qualify. See Costco.com/GM for full details. All financing and approved credit. Prices listed do not include taxes, title, or license. A negotiable documentary service fee of up to $200 may be added to the sale price of the vehicle. Subject to prior sales, see dealer for details. Offer expires 4/30/26.
This is Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland. Having trouble with the government agency? Tired of dealing with red tape? I'll help you get the benefits you've earned. My office is here to help you with Social Security, Medicare, the VA, passports, and more. We've recovered millions of dollars for taxpayers and stand ready to help you. Call me at 360-459 8514 or visit strickland.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Iran and the U.S. have extended a ceasefire for now, but it's not clear when or how peace talks might continue.
One day after President Trump said he was extending the ceasefire with Iran, he was asked when a new round of peace talks might begin, responding to a New York Post report citing sources in Pakistan who said talks could begin in the next 3 days. The president said via text, it's possible. The response comes as Iran's news agencies report the Revolutionary Guard has attacked a third ship in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. also has attacked and intercepted ships in the strait. Iran has said the U.S. must end its blockade before it would consider revisiting peace talks. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A European airline is canceling 20,000 flights through October to save on jet fuel. Lufthansa is starting with about 120 cancellations a day from now until May, saying their expenses have doubled since the U.S. went to war with Iran. They're focusing on routes within Europe, largely between hubs in Germany, Austria, Belgium, and Italy that have become unprofitable. Average gas prices for cars in Washington, though, have held fairly steady over the last few days, hovering around an average $5.36 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. It's hard to believe, but state troopers stopped an intoxicated driver who they say blew 5 times the legal limit last night. Yep, that's a .425. This happened in central Washington. It does not look like anyone was injured in that incident. The Seattle Torrents set attendance records twice and sent 4 players to Team USA in their first season of play. Now Seattle's first professional women's hockey team will end their season this week with games tonight and Saturday. CJ Jackson is one of the goalies and spoke at an emotional press conference after being eliminated from playoff contention.
And it's a privilege to get to do this job. So to be here and you find every single way that you can dig deeper and get to experience something to the fullest.
They play Minnesota tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. Now let's check your traffic, and it is still a rough go pretty much anywhere you want to go. The collisions have cleared, but we are still very delayed. Federal Way to Seattle is still 58 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 74 minutes, and it hasn't calmed down in the last half hour either. Linwood to Bellevue, 71 minutes. I-90 is better. The lake bridges are both a little bit better. Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, 15 minutes. On 520, that's 21 minutes, so that is about a 7-minute delay there. Auburn to Renton also struggling, 22 minutes versus an average 13 minutes on a speed limit day. We're still seeing some slowing getting out of the South Sound as well, but it's not severe. Just around the Fife curve and off and on through Midway, SeaTac until you hit Tukwila. And 405 is also still very heavy through the S-curves. This report brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino. It's comedy superstar Jeff Dunham, July 24th at Emerald Queen Casino. Don't miss this laugh out loud show featuring ventriloquism. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. We are going to stay pretty wet, though we dry out in the afternoon at times. Tomorrow will start cloudy, but stay dry with a high of 61. 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Don't let the rain bring your smile and turn your smile upside down because I did hear Nick Allard, G, saying that we're going to have upper 60s Saturday and Sunday and even Monday and Tuesday.
Come on.
Yep.
There we go.
So it's kind of crummy right now.
Love that.
But it's going to come back. The sun's going to come back. Hey, do you know someone who is going through a midlife crisis? Or maybe we're talking about you right now. Not you, G, but you in general. Middle age can be tough. That's kind of universal. But here in this country, it apparently hits differently. So we're talking about this new research published in Current Directions in Psychological Science. And it says that Americans between the ages of 50 and 65 are much more stressed, lonelier, and financially insecure than those of the same age in other countries. And they're getting squeezed from every direction. We talk about a lot of this: stagnant wages, vanishing job security. It's tough.
Yeah.
And places like Germany and Sweden offer childcare subsidies or parental leave. They're very generous with that, longer vacation times, and they get a lot more financial support from the government. I do want to point out, though, that they also, in general, pay a lot more in taxes.
What happens, because as parents, it feels and seems like we are harder on our kids than we are ourselves. My father used to say a thing, and maybe you guys have heard this before. Maybe you've heard it in different ways. Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you where you're going. Like, that was his whole thing. And we do that with our kids. We say to our kids, oh, I don't want you hanging around with Billy. Billy, he's a troublemaker. I don't want you hanging out. So as parents, we're really hard on our kids by who they hang around. But then when we are as adults, we don't watch who we hang around. Truth is, we are the sum of who we talk to and hang with every single day. So careful who you're hanging with. If you always talking to Lois and Lois always got some woe is me, right? You get off the phone with Lois and you talk to Richard and Richard's got some negatives. Like, you're constantly doing that. Then you find yourself in a situation where you just like,
you're in a spiral. So
many of us get to this age of 50 plus and we just be giving up. We just say things like, oh, it just doesn't matter. I'm just getting older. And we watch social media and we see what all these folks doing. You can't control the world, the scoreboard of the world, Ursula, but you can control what you're doing and consuming.
Well, I love that you're saying that. And I agree with you for the most part. And I think what this research was trying to say is that in this country, we just don't do a good job of meeting the needs as we get older. And I think this is just another sign of, hey, why are we more stressed between the ages of 50 and 65? I mean, a lot of people getting close to so-called retirement age, and that's me. I hear from a lot of my friends who are like, yeah, I can't ever stop working. I can't afford to stop working.
Yeah.
Or I don't have the kind of friend group that I used to have. Or like you were saying, when you kind of get sucked into this whole mentality that woe is me, everything's awful, you can kind of get into that kind of vortex and never flip out of it.
Now, I'm not going to poo-poo the article. I believe it's research and what they're saying. I'll say this, and my only pushback would be, I'd argue that people midlife today are in way better shape and have a way better outlook than of yesterday.
And they're living a lot longer.
Because I remember a lot of grandmas used to just walk around in muumuus. Specifically, both of my grandmas. They walked around in muumuus all day, every day. I look back at pictures and you see folks and you be like, huh? You were that age? You were 45 years old and you look like you were like 75. So I would argue that today, while we might have some people that are struggling a little bit, there's a lot of folks that's like, hey, speak for yourself. Yeah. I'm moving and kicking.
Yes. Actually, I agree with you. And that was going to be the next question I have. I mean, does being middle-aged in America have to suck? Because that was the tease. It's like, no. I would actually argue, minus some of the things that are going on, and we don't know, I'm not going to even get into, this is not going to be a political talk thing at all. I'm just talking about, you know that, I mean, I feel so much better at the age of 60 than I did at 40 and 50.
I believe that. I believe that's possible.
And so I'm trying to jam in as much as I can in my 60s now to make up for, I think, a lot of lost time that I had in my 40s.
Yeah, I was driving to work this morning, and I was thinking about that. And so, because you said you're trying to do a lot in your 60s.
Yeah.
And I was really thinking about this. I was like, okay, I got the 50s. That's here.
Yeah.
I got the 60s.
Uh-huh.
Maybe a little something in the 70s. But I ain't going to be as mobile, right? And maybe to move and shake. So I only really got about 2.5 decades of just really just moving.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I won't be moving, but I'm going to slow down a little bit. And so
you're just working. You're working 3 jobs right now, and you're not enjoying some of the fruits of your labor as much as you could be, maybe. Is that fair?
I found a new way to enjoy it.
Going to the gym.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I found new ways to enjoy it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. When I was on Saturday night, okay, I'm going to share, because I went to Kona Kitchen, which is in Northeast Seattle, not far from where Sophia and I live. And this is a place where I used to go for karaoke. And Mark and I were like, okay, we're tired, but we're going to go out on a Saturday night. We're going to go find a place we can do karaoke. Do you know that I went there, and what was so cool? There was almost nobody there. So we just had it for ourselves, and we were just singing our hearts out. And the reason I bring this up is because as we were walking in, and I was just trying to get to have conversation with my husband again, because sometimes that just doesn't happen enough when you're so busy, right? Yeah. And I was asking, like, hey, what areas do you want to still travel to? And what's, like on your dream list? Let's talk about where we want to travel to next, blah, blah, blah. And he said something, and I was like, wait a minute, Mark, no. Because he said, well, as I get older, it's getting harder and harder for me to think of places I want to go. I was like, oh, no, you're not. Oh, no, you're not. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, you've got a small window.
Small window. I got to give love to 425, because they said something, and when I was preparing for the show, I didn't even think of this. 425, I just want to tell you, you're so right. They said a big part of that is financial stability. And you know what?
Absolutely,
425,
and it's easy to talk about travel. Yeah.
You're so right. And not even just travel. Forget the travel. The foods you eat costs money to eat healthy, right? It costs money to go get the things that aren't covered by insurance, being able to do those things. So 425, you're so right. Financial stability does help. Hey, coming up next here on the show, here's another topic. You don't have to uproot your life to make an impact. We talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
What is it, boy? Someone need help? Someone in trouble? Oh, okay. So you just want me to get Progressive Auto Insurance because their collision coverage covers up to $1,000 in vet bills if you're injured in an accident? That's it? Okay. Calm down. Let's not resort to name calling.
Progressive's collision coverage helps pay for care for your pet when they're in the car during an accident.
No, you're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have said calm down.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage included with purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Hey, I want to tell you a sellwithwes.com success story. Wes Jones knows how important your home sale can be for your future plans. So when he got a call from Susan in Federal Way, he was eager to step up and help her sell her home of 25 years.
Her house was her biggest asset, and this home sale was super meaningful for her. So she's like, I know that I'm leaving money on the table in the condition that it's in. Like, what can we do?
I told him up front that I did not have the time or finances to do what needed to be done. And he immediately jumped in with, well, I do.
He told her about their Listing Boost concierge service.
We identified probably 4 or 5 major things.
It just was all so fast. They did everything.
I'm a son of a builder, and I've done a lot of flips over the years. So this is work that we actually like to do. We are seeking this out.
And I would just tell anybody, here's his phone number, give him a call. He'll take care of it.
So if you're in the market to sell your home, do what Susan did. Check out Wes Jones and his team at sellwithwes.com. Sell with Wes, a better way to sell your home.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sully here. I help commuters get around, and you know the key to a good commute? A good running vehicle. That means regular service and proper repairs. For this, I recommend Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. For over 50 years, Bucky's has been trusted for honest diagnostics, quality work, and fair prices. Whether it's factory scheduled maintenance, an oil change, new brakes, or a check engine light, don't guess. Visit one of Bucky's 16 family-owned locations or buckys.com. That's buckys.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to you. Hey, coming up in about 13 or 14 minutes, the Gates Foundation to cut 20% of their staff. And they also bring up one other thing as well. So we'll talk about that here pretty soon. But right now, we do need to talk about the pressure of making a difference. Things right now are tough. And this, by the way, this article comes out of Vox. things are tough out there and you might be feeling like you're not doing enough or that your job does not require you to do enough and you're not helping others around you enough. But this piece from Vox's Future Perfect argues the opposite. It argues that your career might matter more indirectly than directly. Instead of chasing meaningful jobs, effective altruists ask a colder question. Where can you have the biggest impact without changing your whole life? Sometimes it means using your skills behind the scenes, maybe advising nonprofits, funding overlooked causes, or, here's a good one, connecting the right people to things. The core idea, don't get swept up in uprooting yourself. Just aim to optimize for impact. Because doing good isn't about how it feels. It's about what actually works. So the question is, how do you feel? And what do you do to feel like you're making a difference? You could text us on the Buckle-Shoot Casinos or text line, 888-973-5476. Ursula, what'd you think about this article right here?
I like it. The reason I like it is because I think so often we're so hard on ourselves, always trying to measure up, always trying to, and I think social media just exacerbates all that. There's just this pressure, like, the whole thing about, am I doing enough? Am I making an impact? When I'm gone, are people going to remember me? What are they going to remember me for? I mean, I don't want to sound bleak about that, but I love the idea of, hey, what can you do to make a difference? Y'all know I've been in this job for a long time. Not this particular job, but at this company for close to 40 years. Mm-hmm. Never did I ever think that starting something that we just started a few weeks ago with this whole Ask Ursula thing, never did I. And first I was like, okay, I was asked to do it by our bosses. It wasn't something that I came up with on my own. And I will tell you, just in the short amount of time doing it and connecting with people and actually offering a listening ear and connecting with them that way and coming up with these videos where we answer some of their questions, I feel like that is one of the most meaningful things that I could do right now.
Right. That is pretty cool.
How we use our show. When we say choosing joy, it's rough. It's rough to every single day have to hear the news of the day. There are people, and we understand this. We understand this very, very well, you and I, G, that we could be talking about certain things even a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
But we are making a deliberate choice to try to bring up topics, with the exception, again, certain things we have to bring up and we're not going to find agreement on that.
Yeah.
But find ways to connect with people regardless of what your politics are.
Right. That's cool. When I read this, the first thing I think about, and I probably reference this a lot more than I should, I always talk about how on the airplane, the flight attendant talks you about the oxygen mask. Make sure you put the oxygen mask around yourself first before you put it around others. And what I mean by that for this instance is for anyone that doesn't think maybe that they're doing enough, I'd argue that the people that already have their oxygen mask on right now do a phenomenal job of helping others put their oxygen mask on.
So true.
Right? And so sometimes you might be at the stage of your life where you're just trying to put your oxygen mask on. And I know exactly what that's about. And then when your oxygen mask is on, and then I'm quite sure you'll help somebody else with their oxygen mask. And I think most people, I see it all the time in the philanthropy world, out here in the nonprofit world, especially in this Seattle area, the state of Washington, Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of people that make a huge impact, and you won't even know who they are.
Exactly. Bottom line, though, because a lot of people that you're talking about, they have means, and like that 425 who texted in and said, right now, it's a lot easier to think about your future and be happy in middle age and beyond when you're financially secure. But Melinda in Bellevue texted something very simple that all of us can do. if you treat people kindly, you do make a difference every day. Simple as that.
You know what I should do? I should start ending the show off with be kind. Hey, coming up here pretty soon on the Gee and Ursula Show. So check this out. The Gates Foundation, I don't know if you guys heard this, they are to cut 20% of their staff while also making an announcement about something. And I thought, odd timing. We'll share that with you next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity Medical Clinic?
No, I don't want to do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Well, there's nothing I hate worse than being cold. And if your house is feeling a bit drafty or the floors of the main level are way too cold on your feet, that's probably because your crawl space and attic don't have enough insulation. It's probably making your furnace work overtime. So now you're spending more money as well. Well, how about a free and easy way to learn if you need better insulation? Just schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic with Crawl Pros. It's exactly what I did. They'll show up to your house. They'll go where you don't want to, certainly where I didn't want to, and they'll tell you if you got any problems with your crawl space, your attic, and especially your insulation. If they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates as well to help you get that work done correctly and affordably. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could receive a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost. Make your home more comfortable. Save on your energy bill with Crawl Pros. If you're worried that anything's going on in your crawl space or attic, critters, mold, water, plumbing issues, call Crawl Pros or go to crawlpros.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Hey, Dad, have you heard the news from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services?
No, I haven't.
Eggs have climbed higher than ever on the new food pyramid, and that's great news for anyone who loves starting the day strong.
Well, at Wilcox Family Farms, we make it easy with our ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs. They're delicious, protein-packed snack you can grab on the go, now ranked higher than ever.
Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off.
That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
Are you an HVAC professional in Western Washington? UA Local 32 offers industry-leading pay, advanced training at a state-of-the-art facility, and retirement benefits you can count on. For 135 years, they've had your back. Start building your future at ualocal32.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's been military action off the coast of Iran, and the road to the peace talk table is still long and winding.
One day after President Trump said he was extending the ceasefire with Iran, he was asked when a new round of peace talks might begin, responding to a New York Post report citing sources in Pakistan who said talks could begin in the next 3 days. The president said via text, "It's possible." The response comes as Iran's news agencies report the Revolutionary Guard has attacked a third ship in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. also has attacked and intercepted ships in the Strait. Iran has said the U.S. must end its blockade before it would consider revisiting peace talks. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
BBC reporter Lise Doucette is in Tehran.
The first reactions to President Trump's ceasefire announcement on social media by official aides and spokespersons were predictable, skeptical, defiant. An advisor to Iran's lead negotiator described it as meaningless. He said it was just a ploy to buy more time for a surprise attack.
Virginia voters approved a redistricting plan that could give Democrats 4 additional House seats after the midterm elections. The head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Susan Delbonnay, says it's only fair after moves by Republicans to do the same in other states.
They're rigging the system because they know they're losing. And instead of listening to the American people, they've decided the only way they can win is to try to redistrict and change the rules to favor them.
A federal appeals court has ruled Florida's Alligator Alcatraz can stay open.
A judge had ordered the immigration detention center in the Everglades to wind down its operation, ruling it violates federal environmental law. But the appeals court ruled since the facility is run by the state, it does not have to undergo a federal environmental impact review. Michael Rojas was just released from Alligator Alcatraz after several months. He says it's overcrowded with cameras over the toilets and no visits from loved ones allowed. He says the food was sometimes rotten. He lost 45 pounds there. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro announces a 15-count indictment involving an international auto theft ring that used the latest tech.
They end up reprogramming these cars to accept a blank key fob, and it's almost immediate while on the street. They literally disconnect the GPS and the Bluetooth.
She says the vehicles were shipped to Africa for resale in boxes labeled furniture. Wall Street, the Dow is up more than 250. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
You're listening to KIRO News Radio, and I'm going to jump right into real-time traffic because we're still really struggling from our morning commute. We had a whole bunch of crashes this morning and all that rain driving travel times through the roof, and we still haven't recovered too much. Linwood to Seattle is the worst at 74 minutes, but it's been holding steady for about the last 2 hours, so it hasn't gotten worse, but it hasn't gotten better. Usually we see about half that time this time of morning. Linwood to Bellevue is now 69 minutes, and that's just high volume and, slippery roads. There's nothing blocking that I can see right now. The good news is that the Lake Bridges has cleared, and it's now a speed limit commute from Bellevue into Seattle, but coming north, Federal Way to Seattle is still 49 minutes. That has improved a little bit. Renton to Bellevue is 59 minutes. We've got some very, very packed slowing through the S-curves, and that doesn't really resolve until after the VMAC. There may be a new collision on either on 405 or I-90, somewhere right around that interchange, and that's causing some slowing in that interchange. The merge to 405 is also going to be difficult. We've had some slowing out of the South Sound. That looks like it's mostly cleared on I-5, getting from Tacoma through Fife and up to SeaTac. Auburn has also recovered. We're down back to close to a speed limit drive there. This report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Get your entire home installed for just $99 at Carpet Liquidators. That's a good price. From carpet to flooring, Carpet Liquidators has got you covered.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A random attack sent an elderly man to the hospital, and police are asking for help finding one of the suspects. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu has more.
It happened Sunday night, just before 10, near the corner of 3rd and Pine. According to police, the footage shows the victim and the attackers walking towards each other. The victim reportedly tried to step around the attackers when one of them punched him in the face and the other shoved him to the ground.
He got knocked down on the pavement pretty hard.
Just as disturbing as the crime, Seattle police say, was how the attackers acted afterwards.
They were making fun or making light of the scenario based on their body language as the victim was laying down on the ground bleeding.
A security guard reportedly pointed out one of the attackers who was arrested that night.
Boeing is celebrating big milestones in its first quarter results. Revenue is up 14% from a year ago, fueled by 143 commercial jet deliveries, which are also up. The company is still losing money, but a lot less than a year ago. The company says it expects several plane models to get certified this year, with delivery on track for 2027. And after weeks of volatility, gas prices have held relatively steady the last few days. The average price for a gallon of regular in Washington is $5.38. But analysts say competition for an increasingly tight supply may drive prices up more in the coming days, and we will be watching that. Now let's check your weather forecast. We are going to dry out today, allegedly, throughout the day. High of 56. Tomorrow, high of 60 with clouds in the morning and sunshine in the afternoon. It's 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to you. Grateful that you're hanging out with us today. Good morning to you, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, coming up at 10:30, in 2025, tourism had a record-breaking year everywhere but this particular country. Can you guess what that country is? We'll talk about that and more coming up at 10:30. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. It's 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And with that,
what's new at 10?
One of the most powerful charities in the world is going through a major reset, and it's not just about money. So this is according to the Wall Street Journal. They're reporting that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is now planning to cut about 20% of its workforce. We're talking about 500 jobs or so, as it tries to curb spending and restructures for the future. But in case you haven't been paying attention, that's only really part of the story, because the foundation is also now launching an external review of its past ties to Jeffrey Epstein, following new scrutiny from the Justice Department's newly released documents. And you remember in an earlier interview, Bill Gates talked about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, Jeffrey, in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him, and he sort of got time with various people by spending time with other people. So, yes, I think I was quite stupid. I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that, and it was just a huge mistake.
And just want to remind folks about what Melinda, his ex-wife, also said about Bill's ties to the pedophile.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away, and I moved on.
Well, inside the foundation, Gee, their leadership is calling this a very challenging time. They say with the cost cuts, the damage to their reputation, and then questions about, what the future looks like, all hitting at once.
So basically, what we're saying and reading and understanding is that people are paying for the bad company that Bill Gates chose to keep, right? Now, I just want to point something out. Bill Gates says it was stupid. Wasn't a good idea. It was dumb of him. I remember in 2021, and I remember my youngest son went on a trip with the Gates family. By the way, nice people, real nice people. And I remember just how detailed it was, on down to what you're going to eat on the plane. And I was thinking about that type of detail, and then I was thinking about, Bill Gates, one of the richest people in the world. How could Bill Gates not know about Jeffrey Epstein? Because Bill Gates says, I cut off the relationship in 2014. Let me see. A quick Google search says Jeffrey Epstein was indicted in Florida in 2006 following a Palm Beach police investigation into sexual abuse allegations. He subsequently pleaded guilty in state court in 2008 to felony charges of soliciting prostitution and procuring minors for prostitution, resulting in a 13-month jail sentence. Time out. Hold on. You mean to tell me that the richest man in the world didn't know about Jeffrey Epstein? And when people like me with $2 in their pocket can do a quick Google search and find out what Jeffrey Epstein was doing in 2006 and pleading guilty to 2008?
Yeah. I mean, they turn a blind eye when it's, maybe this is someone who could do something for me. And we hear it over and over and over again. But for people to say, it's hard to believe when they say, I had no idea. Now they realize that was really stupid. I had no idea what he was up to. It seems to me a lot of people knew what he was up to.
You know what? I remember in the 9 o'clock hour. Do you remember we brought up the saying, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you where you're going?
Your dad's great advice, yes.
That goes for billionaires, too.
Yes.
Now, the unfortunate thing is this. Because of that meeting and because of, that was very dumb, now because, people always talk about billionaires. But what we don't talk about is we don't talk about the people that help the billionaires build these companies. And then when they build these companies, and if the billionaires does something stupid, we don't talk about how the people that help build the place get impacted by this.
Well, and the Gates Foundation has done incredible things and has wiped out or helped to wipe out diseases in parts of the world that other people have ignored or other groups have ignored. And so they've done such great work, and it's so sad to see that great reputation be tarnished. This is an $86 billion foundation. And remember, the goal is to wind it down by 2045. So it's just... to me, it's really sad. But Michael in Maple Valley just texted something I wanted to, because I know that you hang around with a lot of people with a lot of power.
Uh-huh.
And when you have this kind of money that Bill Gates has, or other people, that Michael says, no one ever tells you no.
Agree.
No one would ever stand up and tell the boss no.
Agree. Until there was something that finally said, no, Michael's right. But you want to know who will tell you no fast? Your spouse. Your spouse will tell you no quicker than a New York minute. And I thought something was interesting. By the way, there's something in that sound that you played with Melinda Gates that I had never heard before. Just so you know, I'd heard that sound before, but there's
something stood out.
There was something.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away, and I moved on.
Remember, he had admitted he also had affairs with women of age, he said, but he had affairs that he admitted to.
So that was connecting to that.
Yes,
okay.
so that was.
First of all, I just wanted to say, great deal of respect for Melinda Gates.
Oh, my gosh.
I just want to end with that.
She's also, I think, I'm going to say, living her best life and doing great things.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mackenzie, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. Hey, I hate to bring the story up, but he's back in the news.
Before you get to that, just one more thing to kind of, because in this, they're going to review the whole Epstein thing.
Yeah.
They're doing that. I just want to say that I believe that they can review a little harder. I believe that since our federal government won't do anything, I believe that it would take some private folks to come in there and really dig into some of this stuff. I believe that billionaires can really get this done. So here's my thing with Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Let's just say hypothetically that Bill Gates look y'all, I just sat down with the wrong person at that time. Okay. Keep going. Keep going, Bill. Keep going and be like, listen, let's get to the bottom of this. Let me use my resources. You was trying to use all that resources for malaria. You was trying to use all this, but you want to save the world?
Yeah. You got endless amounts of money to get to the bottom of it.
Get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anything, clear your name. So we'll unfortunate. It's just so unfortunate to hear that it's impacting a foundation that has done a lot of good. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about King County Assessor John Wilson, because he's under fire again, and this time the calls for him to step down are unanimous. This is a story out of the Seattle Times. The King County Council voted 9-0 to demand the resignation of John Wilson, who is facing criminal charges tied to allegations that he stalked his ex-fiancée. And council members are saying, and they've said this before, but they're saying that his actions show a profound lack of judgment and undermine public trust, especially as he continues to serve an elected role. Now, he has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and his attorney says he deserves due process. But this whole thing escalated, G, because he loves social media. And he made a social media post over the weekend showing him in a hot tub. And I was going to say topless, but it just, obviously he was in a hot tub. And he was seen by critics as mocking the seriousness of the case, including the ex-fiancé, who is like, this is just, he's trying to basically mock me. The thing is, the council cannot force him to resign. He can only be removed through a recall process, or if he is convicted of a crime related to that office, and it's not related to the office.
Yeah. John Arthur Wilson makes it real hard to have compassion. Let me just say that. First, I think he has a problem. And not just a problem, like a real extensive problem.
He needs to get counseling.
Yes. But when he continues to act the way that he does, I lose compassion for that. This has been going on way too long. It feels like entitlement was a word that we used earlier, is coming back right now. It feels like John Arthur Wilson is one of the most entitled people that you'd need. His life is on fire. His name is on fire. Yet he's in the mirror with his shirt off, he ain't 20 years old. This man is in his 60s, maybe, you know what I mean? And acting this way. What has made this man feel so entitled that he can get to this way? I know. Years and years and years of power have made you and got you to this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I understand why, Sophia, because I don't have the picture in front of me. I was going to get it during the break. What does he say on this actual? Because there was something. He was. Or do you have it in front of you, Gee?
No.
Yeah, he just wrote, "Great to soak my legs after a very productive and successful week."
And the county council is talking about it's reputational damage for the county. I mean, he's just basically flaunting and flouting. What the seriousness of the case against him,
right?
And knowing that it would take a lot, it would take a recall if he doesn't step down. And this is a job that pays over $200,000. I want to know, as King County Assessor, focus on your job,
right?
This is gross.
360 just hit us with a fire point, and in contrast, they can now remove sheriffs that we elected.
Yeah, this is an example of where. Yeah, and that's a whole big process, too. And this is an example of, I wish we had the same thing for politicians, politicians who show up drunk, politicians who, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just so, to me, because John Arthur Wilson used to come on KIRO and do election analysis on election nights.
Yeah.
And I had great respect for him. I just look at this and it's like, God.
Yeah. John Arthur Wilson also came on KIRO. I don't know, maybe it was like
at the beginning
6 or 7.
of our show.
No, I'm talking about when he came on KIRO also to talk about how the allegate, this isn't true, and all those things, right? So again, I hope that the same people that stood in his corner are able to talk to him and say, hey, man, you need to get some help.
Yeah, so let's talk about a real estate agent, a luxury real estate agent who helped himself and cut down more than 140 trees on public land and is now trying to cash in on the views that those trees used to block. I just read this. This is another story from the Seattle Times. So this is Vlad Popach. So he actually bumped up the asking price of his Issaquah home by about $1.5 million. And he's marketing now what he calls once-in-a-lifetime mountain views. And so King County is saying, dude, you got those views because you illegally chopped down trees inside Grand Ridge Park. And he admitted that, yes, he hired crews to cut the trees, dozens of them that were decades old, but he says they did it for safety.
So what's his punishment?
Prosecutors are still deciding whether to file criminal charges.
Oh, okay.
I say go for it.
Okay. Prosecutors are still deciding. Okay. What y'all want me to say? What can I say about this topic? If the prosecutors are deciding whether or not to charge someone with cutting down or having cut down 140-something trees, then
Well, here's another thing that's happening. I forgot to mention this. County attorneys are now suing on behalf of the county for millions of dollars in damages. Good.
Where are they going to sue? His LLC? They can just close down?
Well, they might be suing for that $1.5 million that he boosted. I mean, the gall, though. The how stupid do you have to be to think that you're going to get away with it?
So far, he is.
Well, they're suing him now, talking about criminal charges for what? To try to get a little extra view?
When did he do this?
Good question.
I wonder. I'd be curious to see.
I think it's been at least a year, but it's just coming to light.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, the idea that you go onto public land and then turn around and profit from it—that's nuts. Or you try anyway. So can you imagine? The word needs to get out because people who are looking at this house for potential to buy,
right? Are
you going to just be buying a headache?
When people get their house, they get it how they get it. You know what I mean? They're looking for the best for them. So if it's got a view, I don't think you worried about how you got the view.
Yeah, you are.
Are you? If you have a view.
If a property is going to be under litigation, I don't want anything to do with that property. Like, I'm out. If I know that a house that I'm considering to buy
with the
is
view.
the subject, with a gorgeous view,
gorgeous view.
mountain view, that is costing a pretty penny, but now the current owner is facing a lawsuit and could face criminal charges, I'm not touching it.
Okay, hold on. Realtors, y'all help me out. Because it's not like you can put the trees back.
I was literally going to
You
say
can't
that. I was like, the trees aren't coming back.
Bremerton says, why don't they plant new trees?
No.
And why don't they reduce his property value?
You know how long it'll take for them trees to get tall?
Those trees were decades old.
So I'm buying that house. Y'all can do whatever to Buddy. Nice
Mike
view.
in Portland points out, typically in civil court, it's $10,000 a tree. Might have been worth it.
All right.
Well, he is asking an additional $1.5 million for 140 trees.
Hey, coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show, I am confused about this headline because the headline says restaurants are finding it harder than ever to hire someone to wash the dishes. Text in if you can give us any reason as to why. We'll talk about that next, Gee and Ursula.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Sometimes injuries can happen when you least expect them.
What broke my shoulder was reaching for my phone. I was trying to get the phone away from my cat.
That's how Heather tore her rotator cuff.
There was that hope. I was like, maybe this will heal on its own. And I waited a little bit, and it was not getting better.
She just couldn't take the pain anymore, so she saw Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
By the next day, my shoulder was already doing better. I have my arm back again, which was just wonderful.
Seems like she made the right choice.
I'm so glad I didn't do surgery.
So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
I said to him at our last appointment, I was like, you better not retire because I want to know if anything else goes wrong with my body. You're there to be able to fix it because he's a miracle worker.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon,
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Rising blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
A bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
Hartley Wilcox here. Do you know where your food comes from? If it's perishable, you should read the package. Wilcox Farms eggs are locally fresh from Washington. For the freshest choice, choose Wilcox Family Farms.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. A ceasefire is holding so far, and so does the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. More from CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
Only the ships that the U.S. believed were heading into the Strait of Hormuz and heading to an Iranian port or heading from an Iranian port, basically to punish the Iranian economy. And that's what he's saying can't be lifted until he has a deal, because that he sees as his leverage over the Iranians.
Iranian ships today in the Strait of Iran attacked ships today in the Strait of Hormuz after U.S. forces seized an Iranian-flagged vessel earlier this week. And as Israel and Hezbollah accuse each other of violating their 10-day ceasefire, conditions in Lebanon are getting much worse. Lebanon claims Israeli airstrikes have killed more than 2,000 people since March. UNICEF's James Elder is in Beirut and says 400,000 children are sheltering in schools while classes disrupted.
You're 3/4 underfunded and you're trying to rebuild education, do medical supplies, the food, the nutrition, the blankets, the water. Something has to give, and that means that children don't get all they need.
Alaska Airlines warns higher airfares may be sticking around. The Seattle Times reports rising jet fuel prices tied to the Iran war are driving costs. And Chief Executive Officer Ben Minicucci told investors planes are still full of people, and they keep flying even as rising jet fuel prices tied to the war drive up costs, baggage fees, and fares. Meanwhile, European-based carrier Lufthansa has announced it's canceling 120 flights a day to save money on fuel. They expect to cancel 20,000 flights through October. A banner and a plaque now hangs outside the small Peninsula School District in Pierce County. They're 9,000 students strong, and they've been named to a prestigious academic excellence list for the top 25 districts statewide. Peninsula School District Chief Academic Officer John Yellowlees spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
It feels good that the work is getting recognized. I think we're very much in a phase of aspiring to move from good to great.
The list used to be produced by the federal government, but now states are tasked with these awards. Now we're going to check your drive, KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, and these delays just continue to hang around. Right now, Federal Way to Seattle is 53 minutes. That's an improvement, actually. Linwood to Bellevue still is 54 minutes. That's an improvement by 20 minutes from about a half hour ago. 73 minutes, Linwood to Seattle. And it's still, the slowing starts in Shoreline, and it's just packed all the way into downtown. The lake bridges are clear, and we're seeing less pressure on 99. So if you want to use that as an alternate route, that's a little bit of a better idea. The slowing on the West Seattle Bridge has cleared. It looks like an earlier collision on the bridge has also cleared there. And we are looking a little bit better, Renton to Bellevue. There's still some significant slowing through the S-curves and on that merge from 167, but things clear up a lot better. And the collision on the I-90 interchange with 405 is now gone. So things are improving, even though you're still going to take extra time to get where you need to go. This traffic report is brought to you by the Puyallup RV Show. The Puyallup RV Show returns April 30th through May 3rd. Take advantage of show-only prices now through April 29th. Buy a ticket online, get another free. PuyallupRVShow.com. We're going to stay cloudy, even with some rain dissipating this afternoon. Tomorrow we start cloudy and get sunny with a high of 61. It's 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you, Nick, for the great tunes. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, despite the rain. Text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Gee, did you ever work at a restaurant when you were younger?
No.
Because I didn't either. But my sister worked at a restaurant, and she used to always tell me, it was her first fast food job, and she used to tell me, like, washing dishes is the worst. And restaurants across the country today are struggling to fill what is one of the most essential jobs in the industry, which is washing the dishes. And this report comes from the Wall Street Journal, and it says that tens of thousands of dishwashing positions are going unfilled right now, even as the demand grows. And as you can imagine, the problem is that it's really low pay, well, except for in Seattle, tough working conditions, and high turnover, with dishwashers earning around $32,000 a year on average. And then on top of that, the labor pool has shrunk because of stricter immigration enforcement. And there are fewer younger workers who are willing to take on the job. So all of that is squeezing in all together, and it's making that one of the top challenges for the restaurant industry. I just feel like the restaurant industry and the hospitality industry just keeps getting hammered.
Yeah. Today on our show, we talked about Jim Walsh earlier in the fear tactics. And so I want to bring up more fear tactics. Has anybody ever heard of it being used, invasion of those, undocumented immigrants in this country? Have you heard that term where they say it's an invasion? Have you heard?
What they say, invasion of illegals.
Yeah, exactly. You ever hear they're coming for your jobs? You ever hear that? Uh-huh. Like a lot of this theory under the Great Replacement theory, like the people that are scaring you, telling you as you are trying to hide up under your bed are the ones that are trying to sell you the flashlight. You see what I'm saying? And so let's just say the quiet part out loud. We have this problem right now in this country is because terms like invasion and they're coming to take your jobs, those things have been done. ICE has been a thing. You have used ICE to go into these communities and scare them. We know what happened in Minnesota, in that state, and where 2 people had to die during that situation. So I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. For so long, there's this fear about they're coming. These fear about these are the folks that are doing all the crimes and violent crimes and everything, bypassing the violent crimes that happen amongst others in this country. So yes, like you said, Ursula, there are people that are afraid to go to some of these jobs. But the thing that just confuses me, where I'm confused, is the same people that said that they were coming for your jobs. We shouldn't have a problem then.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and that is one important part of why they're seeing a reduction in terms of people who are wanting to do those jobs. But the other thing is, like, young people, and Sophia, maybe you can weigh in right now. Like, when you're thinking of your first jobs, I think a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers are like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But again, unless, I mean, and tell me if I'm wrong, but unless you are in a place where you are being paid a higher minimum wage, and you are willing to work your way up in the restaurant industry. But right now, restaurants are trying to sweeten the pot a little bit and making it so that you get free meals, you do more, you get involved in the tip sharing, and
well, that's another charge that should happen. When we think about restaurants, we pay the front of the house way more than the back of the house. Shouldn't that be even? I'd argue if the back of the house ain't right, there's no business for the front of the house. So here's my question. Help me out, restaurant folks. Why do we pay the front of the house way more than the back of the house? I've never worked in a restaurant. Help me understand. Why? Are dishwashers and cooks, are they less important than the people presenting and serving the food?
I would argue no. But yeah, that's a whole nother hierarchy.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is. And I think the idea goes back to the thinking that, hey, dishwasher jobs are entry-level positions. They're meant to be like for those part-time. I'm just telling you, they're meant to be for those part-time workers, those young kids. But the young kids are saying, yeah, I don't want that job.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the restaurant industry in itself can be very enticing. I have a lot of friends who choose to work in the restaurant industry because once you do work your way up, I mean, the money you can make with tips and everything is actually sometimes more sustainable than, I had a friend who literally was working a 9-to-5 administration and she decided to quit and go back to the restaurant industry because she was like, I'm not even making a substantial living and it makes more sense for me to go be a server. And so I think, in your brain, if you have any sort of, wherewithal to be a server or work front of the house, that's going to be your first pick rather than being a dishwasher for sure.
See, now someone was pointing out that 425 says, honestly, Ursula, restaurants in King County can't hire anyone under 18. My daughter at 15 to 17 applied for so many positions and no one hired her until the age of 18. So, I mean, yeah, if it's that strict too, I mean, you're going to be in a pickle.
I do this all the time when I go to events a lot. I go to a lot of events. You guys know that. And when I go to these events, I look around and I see who's working where. And then there's this saying like, well, those are entry-level jobs. I'm like, oh, man, what is the definition of entry-level jobs? Is it
you're not paid much?
That's it. That's it. The entry, that is it right there. It's not like, well, gee, this job is really easy.
No one said easy. It's just a job that is not highly regarded. It is a job that they, up until now, I mean, now we're talking about a shortage of dishwashers, but I think there used to be a thinking like...
Jason in Tacoma says skill set, G. More is paid to those requiring more skill. Oh, that's just it right there. Okay.
I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Entry-level jobs are arguably some of the hardest jobs because you're the most scrutinized, you're the least paid, you're the hardest working. And then those skills that those people have, they're usually put on the side.
I'm choosing joy.
But why do you think then they were paid less?
Convenience, because the higher up people, they get paid more for doing less. And so they don't have it in the budget.
Coming up next here on the Gee Ursula Show, it's time for scenarios. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Owie, wowie!
Joey!
What's with the...
Water heater's worn out.
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all?
What?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you...
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its national red tag sales sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I had a friend of mine hit me up yesterday, and he was stressed. Now, check this out. He tells me that he just spent $340 at the grocery store and didn't even buy any meat at all. Then, gas ran him $88 just to fill up his little small car. He said his daughter's daycare went up again. Wow, it is rough out here. But then, about 2 to 3 minutes later, same person on the phone, he says, oh, wow, my 401k is looking great, though, right now. I'm up like 18% this year. And then I said to him, do you hear yourself? It seems like he's paying more for everything he needs today so that maybe he can retire comfortable in 25 years. So here's my question that I have for all of you. Is that the American dream right now? To squeeze the present to protect your future that isn't even promised? I just want to ask this because it really has me thinking about that conversation that I had yesterday. 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. You're bat first, Ursula.
First of all, I never get why people talk about their 401ks and what their 401ks are doing with other people. I know personally that I'm not interested in what someone's 401k is doing. So that would be the first thing. Secondly, I just think it depends on the person. Some people believe in, hey, the future's not promised, so I'm going to live today. I'm going to live my best life today, and that may mean I don't have a whole lot of money. And then there are some people who believe in saving everything and retiring at the age of 60. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it just depends on who you are. I just wouldn't, I don't know, be bragging about it to somebody.
Yeah. Well, I think that we all have our ways to brag about what we have. Hey, Charlie, just want to let you know I'm sending both the kids to private school. we could probably do it different ways. But the question that I really, I even thought about for a second is that the American dream? And I think you hit it. I think it just depends on who you are. There are some people that live for today. And there's some people that live for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the truth. And there's some people who's like, look here, I can't think about tomorrow. I'm just trying to make it through today. So I think it's all how you look at things. And I think that when you're younger, it's easier to live for today. Mm-hmm. And when you get older, you start to be like, oh, wait a minute. So I do have to start doing things a little different and thinking about the future when I'm not working.
Yeah. And again, for those who say, hey, it's a lot easier to do when you're financially secure, even when you're not financially secure and when you're making dirt wages. Like if I think of what was happening when I first started here at what was considered the entry level here at KIRO Radio, right. Making $13,500 a year. Mm-hmm. I still force myself to try to put away a little bit of money and match, or take advantage of what the company, if you're lucky enough to have, because even when you're 23 years old and you're like, I can barely make my rent right now. Mm-hmm. If you could score, what I can tell you right now at the age of 60 that others who were in their 60s would tell me all the time is it comes up real fast. So anything that you can do, even if it feels like a struggle, especially if like you are at a point where you're going to spend every dollar that you're making, force yourself if you can to try to save a little bit because it comes up fast.
It comes up fast is a real thing. Is because for the first time in my life, just about a week and a half ago, was the first time that I actually had a target age to retire. I had never mentioned that until a week and a half ago. So, yeah, it does come up fast. Sophia, what do you think about this topic?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it before. I think for people of my generation, it's really hard to be thinking about saving and thinking about the future. I thought it was interesting in the scenarios that it felt like his friend was being disingenuous because he was complaining about, you know, the high cost of living while still having a 401k. And I thought that was kind of an unfair thing to say because I think we're all kind of dealing and adapting with the changes in the economy. And if you're able to put some money aside, good for you. But I just don't know if that's the case for everyone.
Yeah. All right, let's check in with you, Nick. What you got, man?
You know, it's fine and dandy to be finding their 401k and retirement account going on the up and up with the portfolio. And I'm sure everyone is seeing the same numbers with the money they have saved, finding common accounts and investments. But it does come at a cost, and that being the price for gas, food, childcare, education, housing, and all the rest of those necessities. So you go ahead and celebrate your own price going up. But you got to keep that same energy for the payments being on the rise, too. Maybe in retrospect, one of your new hobbies is going to be saving more like G with that bread while you can. So maybe the 401k can be used for more of what you want rather than what you need.
Yeah. I think from the very beginning of this topic, I think that it just depends on who you are and what the situation is. And some people like in their early 20s are just starting out. They're like, look, I just want to go to Coachella.
And I wish I did.
I just want to go to Coachella. You old folks is talking about, and I call myself old, you guys is talking about all this other stuff about tomorrow. Look, I'm trying to go today, all the different concerts and all that stuff. So good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, let's see here. I'm going to look at this paper, and it says we got Agree to Disagree happening at 11:30. But also, we'll bring back the topic of whatever happened to that election mail. Is that one thing you want to talk about, Ursula?
Yeah. And we also are going to have Luke come in, top of 11.
That's right. Luke Ducey. Always love it when he comes in. Do that next. Gee and Ursula.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO Newsradio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
If you're a homeowner looking to replace your comfort system, there's only one call you need to make. That's the Home Comfort Alliance, especially right now. As a Carrier Factory authorized dealer, they meet the highest standards for training, installation, and customer satisfaction. John Curley here. Efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance matter. Right now, when you upgrade to a Carrier cooling system, you get a heating system free. And they make it so easy with a 60-second price estimator. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com now. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Don't miss the Mariners 50 season celebration night, August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Witness the most iconic gathering of Mariners greats in franchise history as the top 50 players are unveiled at T-Mobile Park. Get your tickets at Mariners.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Iran renews attacks in the Strait of Hormuz, targeting at least 3 ships. Iran's parliament speaker says that the Islamic Republic will not reopen the strait as long as the U.S. naval blockade remains in place, calling it a blatant violation of the ceasefire. The latest strikes come after President Trump's indefinite ceasefire extension. CBS's Aaron Navarro.
Publicly, the reason for extending the ceasefire, President Trump cites the request from the mediators in Pakistan who helped broker those last direct talks between the U.S. and Iran earlier this month that Vice President Vance attended. And the president also pointed to fractures in Iran's leadership, saying that they have not set a unified proposal.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is urging his Republican colleagues to support the Iran War Powers Resolution. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Schumer says Republicans in limiting presidential war powers would be helping out President Trump.
This war of choice that doesn't have goals, that has made things worse on the Strait of Hormuz, on the militancy of the Iranian leadership every day. And he's digging himself deeper and deeper in a hole.
Schumer called it a mistake not to end the war as soon as possible and pointed to President Trump's declining approval ratings.
Congressman David Scott, a Georgia Democrat seeking his 13th term in Congress, has died at age 80. CBS's Torian Small reports from Capitol Hill.
This is a significant blow to the Democratic Conference here. Scott served as the first African American to chair the Agriculture Committee. He has been a champion for farmers in his district, and that's something that is certainly reverberating around the halls of Congress.
Federal and D.C. authorities break up an international car theft ring, announcing a 15-count indictment. The FBI says the auto theft ring stole more than 100 cars in less than 1 minute. D.C. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro.
They are loaded onto shipping containers that are labeled furniture as opposed to cars because there will not be as much scrutiny.
CBS's Jim Krasula has a look at new information on potential coastal flooding.
Researchers at the University of Alabama, including Wanyun Zun, have published new flood risk maps for the U.S. Gulf and Atlantic coasts as climate change leads to more extreme storms.
we were able to identify 8 cities that are at high flood risk. Those 8 cities are New York, Norfolk, Charleston, Jacksonville, Miami, Mobile, New Orleans, and Houston.
The researchers concluded that New York City and Metro New Orleans are at an especially high risk of severe flooding and related damage. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Stocks are up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
A cigarette, a fire, and a very close call in Linwood. We'll tell you all about that in just a moment. But first, we've got KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, and we are finally starting to see things improve, even though traffic is still really heavy. Linwood to Seattle is 55 minutes. Compare that to 74 minutes about an hour ago. Linwood to Bellevue, 52 minutes. And I don't see anything in the way coming out of the north end right now, just that Ship Canal construction zone. From the south end, Federal Way to Seattle is still dragging at 43 minutes. It looks like there was a collision that came and gone just north of Boeing Field, so that's a little bit better. Renton to Bellevue, 39 minutes. We still got pretty serious slowing through the S-curves. That's spilling onto 167. It's finally dissipating once you get past the landing, and the lake bridges are clear. Tacoma is a speed limit drive, and once you get past Mukilteo, you're a speed limit drive to the Canadian border. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. It's comedy superstar Jeff Dunham, July 24th at Emerald Queen Casino. Don't miss this Laugh Out Loud show featuring ventriloquism. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A close call that's leading to a warm weather reminder. 6 units at a townhome complex were damaged yesterday in Linwood when a lit cigarette sparked a fire in the backyard. Things escalated so quickly that when crews arrived, they saw flames 30 feet high and thick smoke coming from one of the buildings. Crews got the fire under control before it spread to other townhomes, but 2 of those units were a total loss. Seattle Police Officer Guild President Kent Liu says recruitment is finally improving at SPD. He tells Jake and Spike they have a lot of people in the pipeline.
The problem of going back to, say, 2020 is you can't vilify this profession and then lose hundreds of officers and then one day say, you know what, we need more cops.
He says things are turning around, but it will still take time to get the new officers trained. Hundreds of Seattle police officers have left the department in the last 6 years. Renton police have turned their automatic license plate readers back on. They turned them off at the end of March to make sure their system complied with new state laws that ban their use near sensitive locations like schools and limited how long data can be retained. They also trained everyone who worked with them. Renton's cameras are mounted on poles in fixed locations. Other departments have disabled the systems permanently since they're on cameras mounted on cars and cannot be turned off and on manually. FEMA inspectors beginning their visits to stormed, damaged homes across western Washington. More than 500 property owners have applied for assistance following December's historic flooding. FEMA's John Harrison says if you've already applied, watch out for scammers.
So an inspector will know your FEMA case number. So that's key. And they'll present their official FEMA identification, and they'll never ask for money or accept money.
We have more information on how to apply on mynorthwest.com. Now let's check your weather forecast. Cloudy with occasional rain, but drying out in the afternoon. We will have some winds, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, starting cloudy, but sun in the afternoon. It's 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Grateful that you all hang out with us today. Happy Wednesday to you. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, coming up at 11:30, we have Agree to Disagree. Our text line is very busy today. A lot of you have a lot to say. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
There are some very different views on how to tackle Seattle's homelessness crisis. Mayor Katie Wilson, who was just on the John Curley Show yesterday, talked about her focus on boosting supply. She has plans for 1,000 tiny homes. But there is a nonprofit group that says the mayor's approach misses the mark, especially for those struggling with addiction. So our reporter Luke Ducey is here. He broke down the mayor's interview and also got some different perspectives. Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's talk about Katie Wilson and what she said yesterday first. She's kind of doubling down on her plan to build those tiny homes, 1,000 by the end of the year, because she told the John Curley Show yesterday, housing is a human right.
We as society, as human beings in society, we decide what we want to be our rights, right? I mean, we could have a really barbaric society where we just all kill each other and then, safety's not a right and nothing's a right, really.
Now, the University of Washington School of Public Health conducted a survey recently. We talked about this about a week ago, and they said cities and counties should now focus on housing for users and people who are battling addiction, not sobriety, because those people who are battling addiction need a stable environment first, is what they're saying. And the mayor's office seems to be mirroring that conclusion. On the other side of this, though, Andrea Suarez with We Heart Seattle, who works inside homeless camps almost every day, she says building homes, in her eyes and from her lens, doesn't help people battling addiction at all.
When you're being housed with your drug dealer and your permanent drug buddy on either side of you, how is that stabilizing you? Show me the 100 people that graduated in the last 90 days that went to treatment, reunited with family, went back to work. Show us those success stories. I think we're hungry for that.
So the mayor was also asked a couple of other questions. I don't know if you want to pause here and talk about this, or I
want to. I do want to ask about that, because could it possibly be that both things are true?
I think so. I think yes. I think the answer to that could be yes.
That you need more housing, but you also need to do more to address the drug crisis and the lack of drug treatment, or the lack of desire by some of those who are unhoused. I had a several-hour conversation with a Seattle police officer who was describing how difficult, because I wanted to ask from his perspective, how hard is it to make a drug arrest when someone is openly using, or when we're dealing with some of these encampments where there is drugs involved. And he said the way he described it, it is so much harder. It is a much more of an involved process than I think that any of us can even imagine, and why so many of them are not just, what people think, like just throw them in jail. It's not as easy as doing something like that. But I feel like both perspectives have some merit. Like, you need to address the drug problem, but you also need to provide more housing.
And a lot of times those things are intertwined, right? The issue of homelessness and drug use, also mental health, and other factors are in there. But I think critics would point to a city's program of building tiny homes or something else, shelters that people can go into, and the wraparound care. There's money now been, according, another ordinance has been passed in the city that there's frees up money for wraparound care for shelters. But I think critics are saying, where is point to the wraparound care? What's your plan for that? And I don't think there's a clear-cut plan. I think there are programs out there, and there are great programs out there, but I don't think there's a definitive process in place, and I think that's where the criticism comes in.
Yeah. So the Andrea Suarez was a direct response to the mayor in what she was doing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So outside of, I know, how many homes was it again that they wanted to have by June? Was it 500? Yeah.
500 now is the new number before the World Cup, if they can get that done, and then 1,000 by the end of the year.
Okay, so 500, and so we're here a couple months away. Do you think that by that time they'll start to kind of give you an update on where they are? So if the 500 is the goal, you think every now and then they'll start to give an update?
They should. I think that's a star on their cap, so they would want to say that. Yeah.
Well, and just to weigh in on the tiny homes thing, I think that this was one of my criticisms for King County Regional Homelessness Authority, where previous leadership was not in favor of the tiny homes idea, and it wasn't part of the overall plan, or it wasn't a big part of the overall plan. I personally don't think it is the long-term solution, but I think it is a good short-term solution. And I also hear the part about, but we need to make sure that the people who are going into these homes are also getting the care they need if they have some underlying issues that have put them in this homelessness crisis. But Mayor, I did listen to the interview. I thought it was a great interview on John's show. What are some of the other things that she brought up?
Yeah, so she was asked also, have you made more friends or enemies in the last 100 days? You know, one of her answers to that was that she's found that she's had to compromise on a lot of issues, including expanding the city's public camera surveillance program. You know, she pushed pause on that expansion of that camera program, and she's told the SPD, the Seattle Police Department, you know, you're not going to be allowed to use those cameras during the World Cup unless there's a clear threat to safety, and then you can turn those things on. It can help you, but not to monitor before then. You know, her base supporters, though, would say we want you to get rid of all the cameras, not just pausing the expansion for privacy concerns, and also they don't want federal agents like ICE agents to potentially use that video. So the mayor said, look, I think people on the far left, on the progressive side, probably don't like me about that, you know, for that reason on the camera issue. And I've also learned that, you know, maybe I'm not going to please everyone. So that was kind of an interesting, mature response, especially for someone who's been mayor and in politics, not just mayor, but how about in politics for the first 100 days.
Well, and Gee and I have been very critical of that decision by the mayor to put it on pause when you're going to have hundreds of thousands of visitors coming in. And we had asked the chief of police when he was on our show, why would you be? That's not something that the police department wants.
They don't want that.
That is absolutely something that Mayor Wilson is basically saying we're going to put it on pause so we can look at it. I think that is, quite frankly, short-sighted. You're not here to give your opinion, but I just wanted to make sure that
I think you would
people know that the chief was like, yeah, that's out of my hands.
If you would ask any law enforcement official, I think, around the country, I think they would tell you that it is a tool, and it is a fantastic tool that they use in order to monitor and look for people. And now what they have to do is have people in crowds down in Pioneer Square when the World Cup's here in the exclusion zone with walkie-talkies or whatever radios and radio in. The chief of police, Sean Barnes, also said that he's meeting with the FBI every week in order to establish whether or not there are credible threats, so then he can then use those surveillance cameras to monitor.
Well, she also talked about, and I want to do the funny stuff too, because we're going to choose joy. Okay. But I do want to say that I know John asked her about, like, what have you learned? What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, she didn't. If you notice, she didn't have a direct answer to that, right? She is she's a thinker. You can tell that she's always thinking. Her mind is probably racing a little bit faster sometimes than she's obviously an intelligent person. So she didn't answer that specifically, but I also get the impression that she doesn't like to talk about herself very much. She likes to talk about programs and things that she's working on. But what she did say was, you know, they asked her, what would Mayor Katie Wilson say to activist Katie Wilson? This is one of her answers. I think this is kind of interesting.
I think I would certainly kind of explain a little bit more about the huge bureaucracy that is the city government. Some of it's necessary, and then some of it is like, wow, we need to improve things in here.
You know, and she said that she's had a new perspective that has changed now because she realizes the buck stops with her on a lot of things. So as an activist, you don't necessarily have, she explained, you don't have to consider everyone's perspective, and all the stakeholders. But now as mayor, not only do you have to, but she says that she really does. And the reason I say things like she's an intelligent person, she's this and that, is because we're just getting to know her, really. Yes. And you know, her close friends know her, but we don't know her yet, and we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, she said something, though, that caught your eye.
It did.
Also,
it did.
About how, and it's like, okay,
we're gonna
is this an outsider thing, or is this something that we all are guilty of?
Well, she's, I think, like me, I think she's an East Coaster. I've interviewed her before on Super Bowl related things, and she's an East Coaster. I am too. So these are things that are learned, but we're going to pick on her a little bit, but then we're going to pick on ourselves as well. So finally, we learned that Mayor Wilson, like a lot of people, they mispronounce Nordstrom.
I love the jacket. I don't know where you got that one, but shock that
Nordstrom's.
one. No way.
Yeah.
Nordstrom Rack or Nordstrom?
The actual Nordstrom's. Yeah, I just one.
So John got it right.
Doubling down.
But she says, she said it 3 or 4 times, Madam Mayor, if you're listening, there's no S on the end of Nordstrom. It's Nordstrom's, and a lot of Seattleites take that seriously. However,
like Pike's Place.
Let's look at ourselves here, because I'm guilty of this. According to Laurel Sutton, because you know me, I'm a reporter. I had to look this stuff up this morning. She's a linguist and an expert on branding. And this is the thing. She says that we are all prone, really, to mislabeling company names and retailers like department stores and restaurants because they have a long history of being named after their founders and taking on the possessive form. So, the Nordstrom family has a store that's named Nordstrom, and the Nordstroms own it. So you get that mixed up. So Nordstrom, not Nordstrom's. How about this one? Fred Meyer. It's Fred Meyer, not Fred Meyers. I say Fred Meyers all the time.
Yeah.
It's Bartell. It's not Bartell's. I always say Bartell's. So, I mean, I think we all kind of get those things wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to go to Bartell drugstore. Well, yeah, now.
Right. You don't want to say the whole name, but it's Bartell's.
Don't worry. I think it was maybe 2 years ago that I stopped. And still, by the way, I still catch myself. I was calling it Pike's Place for a long time.
Pike's Place? That's another one.
Man, like, seriously. And somebody said something, I'm like, it's Pike Place? Didn't know that.
And how many times do you have people visiting out of town, and I'm so guilty of this, and they say Pike's Place Market. No, it's Pike Place Market. I always correct them.
Yeah.
It's Pike Place Market.
Oh,
Pike Place Market. Isn't that horrible?
Well, if anyone missed the interview, I thought it was a very it was a good interview. And Mayor, if you're listening, the Gee and Ursula Show still wants you on the show. You are welcome to join us anytime. Luke, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yep.
Okay, Gee, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about elections and the ballots and what's going on with that investigation, or would you like to talk about travel?
Travel's good.
Okay.
Yeah, still travel.
So it was a big year last year for travel, with tourism adding a record $11.6 trillion to the global economy. And tourism has been great for economies everywhere except this country.
Really? I wonder why.
Yeah, so according to a report in Fortune, North America was the slowest growing region for tourism, with the industry's economic value growing only 1% compared with 2024. That was entirely owing to folks internationally, folks from Canada also saying, yeah, we're going to sit this one out. We're not going to make a trip to the U.S. One survey found that 46% of international travelers have said they don't want to visit because of what is going on with the current administration. And as we get closer to summer, economists are wondering if they're going to see the numbers go back up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of folks are counting on the World Cup to generate billions of dollars in economic activity.
Right. I'm curious about the World Cup and when that happens.
And I am starting to worry, too.
I mean, and I'm sure, and maybe you all know some folk, because you probably know someone from up north of the border, up there in Canada, that have chosen not to come down to the United States for a couple reasons. One, they just refuse to come because of everything, the rhetoric that's been said. And two, some just kind of fear some things. Or maybe you have someone that's a family member and maybe you have a green card here and you yourself are nervous, or you have family coming in town that are nervous. Like, how, you know what, let me just stay away for a while. There's a lot of uncertainty, and we have on this show talked about situations where people have been pulled off to the side, kept for hours with no explanation as to why. So it's no coincidence that we are seeing this type of thing, and I think we'll continue to see that for a little while longer.
Okay, I'm going to ask, though, if you had a chance to pick some place to travel to, what's the first destination for you?
Oh, I need to go somewhere that I've never even come close. Well, actually, I did come close because I was in Spain and I was in Malaga, so that was kind of close to the northern part of Africa. Mm-hmm. I want to go to Ghana. I would love to go to Ghana out there in Africa. So that's kind of where I want to go. Trying to see if I can make it work this December. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I would be Ghana. How about you?
Nice. Well, we have a couple of places that we have already picked, but you know what place I've never been to is Bali.
Oh yeah,
and that's on a bucket list.
Yeah, I keep hearing that that's a nice place to go.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, I loved going to the Philippines and being where in places where I'd never been, mm-hmm. and it was really fun to explore a country that I thought I knew so well, and and going to different places that I've never been there.
Right.
But there's so many places that I would love to go.
Yeah. I want to go back to that topic that we just had just now about tourism being down in the United States, and we talked about how prices are up right now and how sometimes the potential, we don't know when prices will go back down. Do you think this is the beginning? Do you think that this will normalize? Because I don't know that the rest of the world views the United States the way that it used to. Will we continue to see tourism continue to be down, or is this just an outlier, in your opinion?
I think it's. I think it's going to be for until there's a change in the administration. Yeah. This is not a one. It's not just for right now. I mean, I have family members. I don't know if that's the question you were asking, but I have family members in other countries who are like, we're going to hold off on visiting.
No, I wasn't asking that part. Yeah. And so, yes, there you go. There's people that deliberately are like, hey, I'm not going to be coming there. Yeah. I just want to know, will this be a thing even after this administration?
No, I don't think so.
You think it'll go back to?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hope so. That would be.
Well, it depends. It depends on what happens this November. And it depends on what happens with the World Cup. It depends on how people see that they're actually being treated. And then it'll depend on what happens in 2028.
The World Cup is really going to tell us a lot. That's going, really tell us a lot. We'll see about the attendance on that. All right, coming up next, it's time for good old Agree to Disagree. Do that next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through Sunday, May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Things are changing fast and no one knows what comes next.
Times like these make you realize just how important it is to be prepared. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. They're America's #1 most trusted resource for survival food, solar power, water filtration systems, and more. Go to preparewithamerica.com to unlock a special offer that'll help you get ready for whatever comes our way. Go to preparewithamerica.com to see the special offer right now. That's preparewithamerica.com.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Summer's right around the corner. Can you say World Series? I don't want to jinx anybody, and I don't want to jinx that heating system or cooling system that you have, but it could possibly out at home. So the best thing to do right now is to replace the system. You want it done right and done fast. Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Upgrade to a Lennox cooling system and get a new heating system free. Plus available utility rebates. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Hartley Wilcox here. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. And everyone knows eggs are an incredible source of natural protein and omega-3. But have you ever stopped to think about what the hens eat to make the eggs great tasting and even healthier to eat? At Wilcox Farms, we believe in nature-first nutrition. Our hens enjoy pasture access and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. That means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for you and your family. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs, you're investing in real nutrition and real value. Because healthy hens make healthy eggs, and healthy eggs make healthy, happy families. So next time you're at the store, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Learn more at wilcoxfarms.com. Wilcox Farms, where better eggs begin with better care. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. An indefinite ceasefire is now in place as President Donald Trump asks Iran for a response for peace proposals. Meanwhile, CBS News has learned Iran maintains more military capabilities than the White House or Pentagon have publicly admitted.
Multiple U.S. officials tell CBS News about half of Iran's stockpile of ballistic missiles and launch systems are still intact. Roughly 60% of the Revolutionary Guard's naval arm is still in existence. Iranian air power has been significantly degraded, but not erased, according to those officials. And about two-thirds of Iran's air force is still believed to be operational, despite the intensive U.S. and Israeli campaign.
A fragile ceasefire is also holding between Iran and Lebanon. Israel has had a ground and air campaign there, and they say to target Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. Thousands of people have died and hundreds of thousands are displaced. As for how all that's affecting gas prices, we have Patrick DeHaan, Chief Petroleum Analyst for Gas Buddy. He says all eyes are on those peace talks.
For now, the oil's still in somewhat of a limbo, still volatile in terms of moving up and down, responding to the news, but not yet anything that is going to either make or break the current trend. I think we could see prices at the pump inching down a little bit over the next couple of days, but prices could rebound very quickly if oil prices suddenly shoot up, which we certainly have seen over the last couple of weeks.
Right now, an average gallon in Washington is running about $5.37. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell spent the morning asking Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. pointed questions about artificial intelligence in healthcare. Specifically, reports a program called Wiser has delayed or denied treatment for Medicare patients.
It's basically taking weeks to find out that you're denied on things that never were a prior denial before.
Health Secretary RFK Jr. explained that it does have a place in healthcare.
We found we were being ripped off by certain categories of procedures that are not good for the patient, and a lot of time they're unnecessary and they're very lucrative for the doctors.
But he said he wanted to work with her on a solution. Now we're going to look at your traffic, and we are improving more and more. We're about 45 minutes now from Linwood to Seattle, and about the same from Federal Way to Seattle on I-5. The lake bridges are clear. It's a much easier drive from West Seattle just to get to that merge now. We had been backed up quite a bit behind the bridge most of the morning, but that has cleared. 405 northbound is still tough go through the S-curve, but once you get through those, you're a speed limit drive into downtown Bellevue, and it's speed limit drive pretty much getting out of Bothell. There's a few slow spots through Kirkland, but only about a 5 or 6 minute delay. This report is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. It's comedy superstar Jeff Dunham, July 24th at Emerald Queen Casino. Don't miss this Laugh Out Loud show featuring ventriloquism. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. We are going to see some clouds all day today, but less rain as we go through the afternoon, starting cloudy and getting sunny tomorrow, and then the weather just improves all the way through the weekend. It is 51 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It's 11:34. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show on this Wednesday morning. Hey, let's do Agree to Disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
Okay, so we're going to get a little deep right now, because oftentimes in relationships, I'm talking about all relationships, I'm talking romantic, I'm talking family, I'm talking platonic, we're always emphasizing the importance of healthy communication. But in that communication, how much does that include feeling the comfortability of being angry? Of course, violence and emotional abuse is never okay, but anger is a human emotion. And sometimes people bury that away in an effort to be more friendly, be someone to get along with others, just to make things a little bit easier. That being said, relationships experts tell Vice that anger is an important protective emotion that needs to be expressed. So my question is it actually healthier to express your anger in relationships rather than suppress it and hide it entirely? You both seem a little puzzled. So.
No,
I'm just listening.
No, trying to hear that thing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a deep one.
Yeah, it is deep, and it's the first time we're hearing it, so I was giving it some thought. Gee, you start.
Yes and no. You know what I mean? Like, I guess sometimes in those relationships, you want to. How about this? No, actually, I'll go say no. It is not okay to express your anger, because that anger needs to be handled before you bring it out. Because if you bring it out, anger brought out right away, then there's just no guardrails. It could go bad real fast. So I would slow down, and hopefully by the time you bring it up, you have less anger than you did. So I would say coming out and screaming or coming out and speaking the anger is not a good idea right away. How about that?
And I will deviate a little bit from what G said, in that I think it's important to let someone know if they've made you angry, but how you express that is the most important thing. Now, I grew up in a household where my dad was a yeller, and my dad was a very outspoken. He had a very loud voice, and I mean, he was an amazing dad, great dad. But you knew when he was upset, and he was like screaming and yelling. And I just said, like, that just instilled a lot of fear. And we only had a much better relationship with my father when we weren't fearful of him. And so I made it a very deliberate point with raising kids that I just wasn't going to be a yeller. And I think that you can express your anger about something without having to raise your voice and intimidate in that way. I think you can let someone know, like, I feel angry because X, Y, Z. And I would say that it's more important to let them know that they've made you feel that way versus holding it in until you finally just have so much pent-up anger that you burst. You know what I mean? Or you're angry but you're going to pout instead of actually just expressing what it is that's bothering you. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think this is what this writer was trying to poke at in Vice, and the headline was, like, getting angry saved my relationship. I think the idea is more so the idea that you don't want to bottle those emotions up.
Yes.
I definitely think that certain ways of expressing anger can do more harm than good. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are very passive in relationships, and they don't actually say when
what
they're
it is
upset.
they mean, yes.
And that can cause more issues in the long run. And I think that's more of the idea of how honest are you when you're angry? Do you just kind of channel it in your own thing and never bring up the fact that something upset you? Or is that like you channel it and then you come back and have a mature conversation about it later?
I think that depends on the relationship. You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you do channel it when you go away with it, right? And then sometimes you address it. I think it just depends on the relationship.
JLV and Puyallup nailed it too. Anger is valid. Abuse is not. Yes. You have to be able to express your anger without being abusive.
I agree. Okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit, have a little bit more fun, and we're going to talk about some rituals and childlike wonder, because I know we have some habitual people in this room right now. There's a lot of debate in parenthood, especially, about what is okay to create in terms of rituals for children, because what is pretend and what is real, the line is a little unclear for a lot of children, and that's gone back for centuries. But the thing that kids can always really depend on, if you choose to create those rituals for children, is that they can rely on the faith of whimsy. Like, all right, like, no matter what, I lost this tooth, I'm getting $1 tonight. Or I feel like I know it's Christmas morning and I'm going to open up and I'm going to find all these things in my stocking. But we don't really have that as adults. We don't have something whimsical that's like a ritual that we can depend on usually. And so my question is, do we think that's the problem that we have as adults? Are we missing the faith of ritual, things that we can depend on that are just good moments of joy?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. You're right about, how about this? Sometimes being naive and not knowing about topics really helps you with those things. Like, I don't want to go through them because there's kids in the car.
Right.
So, but as you get older, it becomes sometimes a chore. Sometimes to make sure that everybody's happy in those situations. And then for the kid, it's like, oh, man, this happened? Okay, I know for a fact this is going to happen. And you have no idea what somebody potentially went through so that you can have that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, is there something that you can embrace again as an adult that would bring you to those simpler times when you looked forward to the tooth fairy or the Easter bunny or where, again, life was a lot simpler. And I'm trying to think, and maybe you can help me, Sophia, like, what are you thinking? Like, actually, one of the big trends was those Labubu, like I'm not joking.
Having whimsy.
The Labubus, where people were collecting those things. It was like going back to the things that bring them joy.
Yeah.
And that became a thing.
Well, I mean, and I think it's the idea of like, having that little surprise is what I kind of emphasize. I know I struggled as I got older, kind of like, I mean, Christmas is a holiday that a lot of people are like, it's family, it's coming together, but it's way more stressful as an adult than it would be as a child a lot of the times, right? Because you're not thinking about all the logistics. And I think you have to make such a conscious effort to have the whimsical things in your life.
But
enjoy the little things.
I was debating if I wanted to go here, but I guess I have to, because when you say whimsical, right? Young kids' version of that is maybe different from adults. Some folks' whimsical is just like, yo, I woke up this morning. I'm still here.
Right.
Yes! You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or 425 texted in and it says, this is why I'm a Disney adult. Like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's this kind of thing that brings you joy. Or going to a theme park and just letting loose.
You brought up the Labubus, and I have someone in my life who's obsessed with these little stuffed animal things that come into a box, and like it brings her joy. And we all tease her because we're like, "Why are you obsessed with this stuffed animal thing?" But it brings her joy, and we're like, "Okay, like whatever."
Yeah, life is too short not to have joy.
Yeah.
Jerry in 206, I'm with you. Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Man, that is still to this day the favorite holiday of the year. It's Thanksgiving.
Well, if you're not making it, it's quite fun.
If you're making it, I mean, I guess it
gets stressful.
But you know. All right. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have words to live by.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
So it is spring right now. Summer's just around the corner. Maybe you've got some kind of vacation that is going to require a lot of driving, and you're thinking, okay, this old car that I'm driving right now is not going to cut it. I need a new one. Why don't you do what I did and start your search for a new car at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership? I keep going back there because it's not just about the great cars that they sell. It's how they treat people so well. They treat you like family. You're not going to be dealing with pressure. You're not going to be dealing with games. They're just going to have real conversations with you, and you're going to end up with real value for your hard-earned money. And Carter Subaru is not just in the community. They invest in it, and that is so important to me as a consumer. And when you're talking about selection, Carter Subaru has more than 700 vehicles in stock right now. That's the largest selection in our state. And right now, they've got some great deals. The 2026 Crosstrek starting at just 1.9% APR for 36 months, or the 2026 Outback at 3.9% APR. So there are so many reasons to go into Carter Subaru today. Carter Subaru in Ballard, in Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 4/30/26.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Welcome back into the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you. It's now time to get it to those good old text messages.
And just tapping into our last discussion about finding whimsy at our age. Robin Puyallup says, "Whoa, Sophia, I make Thanksgiving. I love every minute of it. Even being exhausted, I love knowing that people enjoyed my food."
Which is great. I think it's awesome. Like if that's your whimsy and you feel joy in like cooking, I think that's great. I love people who find whimsy in cooking because I love to eat.
Sophia, the thing is whoever hosts Thanksgiving, it's a whimsy for them. They either get to show off their cooking skills or their house.
If they're choosing to host Thanksgiving. Sometimes people have to host Thanksgiving and it's not their first choice to be the ones hosting.
Or they're ordering from Met Market.
I like the Whole Foods meals personally.
Yeah. Robin and Graham says, "I think a lot of adults use Halloween time to be whimsical." So true.
That's a good point.
So many adults I know say it is their favorite holiday. And I, for one, I love it when people get dressed up, even at work.
I love Halloween. It's my favorite. I had a lot of fun this past year. Liz and McKenna said that her whimsy of the day, a whimsical cup of coffee.
You know what? And that works too. On the 3-day work week, Christine in Wallingford says, "Tell me you have privilege without telling me you have privilege. 3 days is amazing. Get your back in the office."
Mm-hmm. Michael in Maple Valley said, "One of our good friends just lost their job out of the blue. They would love to go to a job that pays well if they only had to commute 3 days a week. I am grateful to have a job in this day and age. I'm so tired of hearing the whining of those that do not know what they have."
Yes, and for those of you who don't know the story that we're referring to, it is King County workers who came into the county building yesterday, some carrying signs, and were protesting that by June they're going to have to go into work 3 days a week instead of just 2. Emily in Lake Stevens says, "Work from home helps the employer. It cuts overhead, expands access to top talent, boosts productivity, employees work harder, and are retained longer. Seems so weird that we would force people to come to an office or a specific location when they don't need to be." And the argument there would be, maybe they are needed because King County is not running at peak efficiency right now.
You want to know a great way for employers to save money? Is to just cut you, and while you're still at home with no job.
Yes, which is unfortunately happening.
I'm just glad that we don't have AI taking any jobs throughout the country.
Nope. Okay, on making a difference. John in Bonnie Lake says, "My whole job is about making a difference. I'm a teacher. For others, everything you do all day makes a difference. How do you interact with people around you? Do you smile at people when you go shopping? Just smiling as you shop can make a big difference. Carrying a storm cloud over yourself is not healthy for you or others around you." John and Bonnie Lake, that is winning. That is a winning statement.
And then our friend Rob, the retired Puyallup police officer, said, I didn't realize the impact I had until I read the comments on the department's Facebook post about my retirement. It was overwhelming. I always try to be a calming influence in chaotic situation, and it turns out people remember that.
They did, and they do, and I bet they miss you in Puyallup, Rob. Rob now lives in Tennessee, by the way. Tracy in Tacoma says, those of us without the ability to make a huge financial impact with monetary donations can still donate our time. Newly retired, my husband and I have committed to a few different organizations where we regularly donate a few hours each week. But even those without unlimited free time can still use time as currency. So true. Just taking the time to be present in daily life, to engage in conversation with the checker at the grocery store, to talk to your neighbor at the mailbox, to make it a point to give those drive-by compliments that you guys talked about yesterday. Put positive energy back into the world. It doesn't take money. It just takes effort. So well said.
On living for today or tomorrow, what you're more likely to do, Tracy and Burian said, I live for today and my husband lives for tomorrow. We've been together for over 30 years, and over that time, we have tried to encourage each other to meet in the middle. It's not always easy to do, but I am thankful for my husband because goodness knows without him, I would be in sad shape when it comes to retirement.
I so relate to that. Justin in Enoclaw says, it's good to put into a 401k, but that being said, look at how much gas and groceries goes up every year. There's no way you can retire and live 5 to 10 years on the 401k if it keeps going up 5 to 10% every year. This is so true. My mom is in this situation right now where she put away money in the 80s and 90s, and it's not reflecting well on today's economy, and she is stuck.
And Kevin in the 206 said, this is a great scenario. I just turned 50 last month, and recently I had my first heart attack. Heart disease runs in my family, and it opened my eyes. I'm definitely saving money for retirement, but I am enjoying life now. I went out and bought myself a new dirt bike because I love dirt bike riding. My wife and I have recently bought ourselves a new boat because our kids are 15 and 10 and want to learn how to wake surf. So yes, we're thinking about the future, but we're actually being less conservative and a little less frugal when it comes to how we spend our money because I'm getting older and tomorrow is not guaranteed.
All right, let's get to words to live by. What do you got, Ursula?
Well, Melinda in Bellevue sent me this, and I love it. Today, you could be standing next to someone who is trying their best not to fall apart. So whatever you do today, do with kindness in your heart.
That kind word came up again. Good stuff right there. Nick, what's up, man?
Well, maybe being middle-aged has newer challenges, with retirement far-fetched and seeing wage imbalances. But whether you're a dishwasher or doctor with your days, all the wealth lies in the health with your self-care that really pays. So let's all share the ritual to choose joy on our dial, lifting everybody up who's kind to us and makes us smile. And if you've got another ritual like holidays, Dungeons and Dragons, Labubu's, or even wearing moo-moos, more power to you out there.
Did you bring the moo-moos back? There you go.
A moo-moo is like a bank.
Yeah. Oh. Actually, that's how I looked at it growing up.
I know that's
you know what I mean? That's how I looked at it.
That was a promo for a long time.
Yeah.
My moo-moos, you said.
Oh.
Yeah, I've stopped the moo-moo now. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
Summer hasn't started yet. You don't know.
This is true.
Thanks, Ursula.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you.
Of course.
Nick, appreciate you, man.
You too, man.
The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Well, there's only one kind. So hush not, child, and don't cry.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the ready right now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA home loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
The John Curley Show.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
The 1,500-pounder, baby. I know somebody who knows a guy who got me the seed.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity,